very warm welcome. I am Gushin Galan and you're watching Firstpost. In the next few minutes, I get you the top 40 updates from around the world, only here on Fast and Factual. Let's get started. We begin with India. Prime Minister Narendra Modi has departed for his 4-day state visit to the United Kingdom and Maldives. The visit will focus on bolstering trade and defence cooperation. Prime Minister Modi is scheduled to meet British Prime Minister Keir Starmer as well as King Charles III. After the UK, Prime Minister Modi will head to Maldives to attend the Independence Day celebration as the guest of honour. India will resume issuing tourist visas to Chinese citizens from July 24th, marking the first such move in 5 years. The decision comes as both countries work to repair strained ties following the 2020 Galwan Valley clashes. While China resumed visas for Indian students and business travellers in 2022, tourist visas remain suspended until now. Trump has announced that the US has reached a trade agreement with Japan. Taking to Truth Social on Tuesday night, Trump claimed it was perhaps the largest deal ever made. Under the agreement, US importees will impose a 15% reciprocal tariff on Japanese exports. This is down from the 25% tariff announced earlier. Japan will also invest $550 billion in the US. Meanwhile, Japanese Prime Minister Shigeru Ishiba has dismissed reports of his resignation following a major electoral defeat. Ishiba's ruling Liberal Democratic Party, alongside coalition partner Komeito, lost its majority in Japan's upper house over the weekend. The setbacks triggered growing political pressure and internal calls for his resignation. Trump has renewed attacks on former President Barack Obama, accusing him of treason. Trump claimed Obama attempted to sabotage his 2016 victory, linking Obama to an alleged Russian interference in the election. They tried to steal the election, Trump said, alleging a conspiracy plotted by Obama to undermine his victory over Hillary Clinton. Obama's office dismissed the remarks, calling them a weak attempt at distraction. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky has signed a new bill that has sparked domestic protests. The legislation is widely seen as weakening the independence of Ukraine's key anti-corruption institutions. Critics argue the law places the National Anti-Corruption Bureau and the Specialized Anti-Corruption Prosecutor's Office under the control of the Prosecutor General. Hundreds of demonstrators gathered in Kyiv in the largest anti-government protests since Russia's full-scale invasion in 2022. Russia has commenced large-scale naval exercises dubbed July Storm. The drill involves over 150 vessels, 15,000 personnel, 120 aircraft and 10 coastal missile systems taking place in the Pacific, Arctic, Baltic and Caspian Seas. The drills aim to test the Navy's readiness for unconventional warfare, long-range weapon deployment and unmanned systems. According to reports, Germany has approved the delivery of 40 Eurofighter Typhoon jets to Turkey. The sale, involving the consortium of Germany, the UK, Italy and Spain, had been under negotiation for months. The German government has not officially confirmed the decision, but the Turkish President Erdogan said earlier this week that both Germany and the UK had expressed a positive stance on the deal, which Ankara aims to finalize soon. At least 21 people, mostly women and children, were killed in Israeli airstrikes across Gaza late Tuesday and early Wednesday. The Israeli military confirmed operations in Gaza City and Jabalia, claiming that airstrikes targeted Hamas fighters and infrastructure, including tunnels and weaponized buildings. A Hong Kong court has ruled in favor of transgender individuals' right to access public toilets that align with their gender identity. The court ruled existing regulations restricting bathroom use based on biological sex at birth as unconstitutional and discriminatory. The ruling came in response to a legal challenge by a transgender man known as K, who argued the restrictions infringed on his rights. In climate news now, Tropical Storm Wifa triggered deadly floods in the northern Philippines, killing at least 6 people on Tuesday. Thousands were forced to leave their homes as heavy rains hit Manila and surrounding areas. Weather officials warned of more rain as another storm, Tropical Depression Dante, is approaching the country. Meanwhile, tropical storm Wifa also caused widespread flooding in northern Thailand. In the Nan province, residents were seen wading through waist-high muddy water. Heavy rainfall continues to batter Thailand's northeastern regions. Weather officials have warned of more rain, strong winds and flash floods in the coming days. Typhoon Wifa also caused heavy rains, causing widespread flooding across China on Tuesday. At least 2 people died and over 10 went missing in Shandong province. Half a year's worth of rain fell in just 5 hours in Laiwu district. In Liaoyong, emergency workers were seen placing sandbags on the roads to prevent further flooding. Greece is grappling with a heatwave as temperatures are rising across the country. People sought refuge at beaches in Athens to stay cool as temperatures soared past 38 degrees Celsius on Tuesday. Meanwhile, a major forest fire broke out near Corinth, forcing evacuations on Tuesday. Over 180 firefighters struggled in tough conditions. No injuries were reported, while authorities warned of at least 44 degrees Celsius in the coming days. Meanwhile, Turkey is also experiencing a brutal heat wave. Temperatures crossed over 40 degrees Celsius in several cities. The temperatures peaked on Tuesday, affecting places like Istanbul, where the mercury touched down around 35 degrees, and Izmir, where it neared 40. People moved to seaside and parks to stay cool. On to business in tech news now. Japanese shares surged to a one-year high earlier today as the country secured a trade deal with the United States. The announcement also boosted Asian markets overall, while European stock futures rose on a trade of optimism. Investors remained bullish as more deals were signaled with the Philippines and Indonesia. Coca-Cola announces a new version of Coke made with the US-grown cane sugar, set to launch this autumn. The move followed pressure from President Donald Trump, who had last week said the soda giant had agreed to switch sweeteners. CEO James Quincy said the original Coke would continue to use corn syrup in the United States. A Mali court on Tuesday rejected Canadian company Barrick Gold's appeal to free 4 employees detained since November last year. The workers were facing charges of money laundering as a tax dispute with the military junta escalated. The military government had earlier blocked exports and seized 3 tons of gold stocks in an escalating dispute. German auto parts maker Bosch announced plans to cut up to 1,100 jobs at its Reutlingen plant by 2029. The company was restructuring operations as sales fell amid a weakening demand in the European auto market. Bosch said it was shifting focus to semiconductors, with control unit production no longer competitive. Chocolate giant Hershey told US retailers it was raising prices by a double-digit average across its confectionery range, citing an unprecedented surge in cocoa costs. The company said the price increase was not linked to tariffs or trade policy, but to supply disruptions in Ghana and Ivory Coast. The company's CEO, Michael Buck, had earlier said Hershey would offset costs through smaller packs and higher prices in the second and third quarters. Moving to quarterly earnings report, General Motors revealed that Donald Trump's tariffs wiped out $1.1 billion from its operating income in the last quarter, a 32% drop in core profit. The automaker said the tariff impact was expected to worsen in the third quarter and could cost $4 to $5 billion this year, with only 30% of that pain possibly offset. Tesla's electric vehicle registrations in California fell by over 21% in the second quarter, marking the company's 7th straight quarterly drop in the state. The fall came as Elon Musk was escalating his political activity, which has put him at odds with California's liberal base and raised new concerns among Tesla investors. During the period from April to June, Tesla recorded just over 41,000 registrations in California, down from more than 52,000 units a year earlier. Amazon reached a deal to buy San Francisco-based Bee, a startup that developed an AI-enabled bracelet to transcribe conversations. The $50 wristband could analyze audio and generate summaries or to-do lists. But the deal had not closed as of Tuesday, and Amazon did not disclose terms. A new report suggested that billionaire CEO Elon Musk's XAI was seeking up to $12 billion in funding to build a giant data center for training its AI chatbot Grok. The money would reportedly be used to buy advanced NVIDIA chips through a deal led by investment firm Valor Equity Partners. OpenAI and Oracle announced plans to build another 4.5 gigawatts of data center capacity, expanding their massive Stargate project backed by SoftBank. The initiative, first unveiled at the White House in January, aims to keep the US ahead in the global AI race. The construction of the first Stargate facility has started in Texas, with more locations still under the wraps. Moving to sports, today we begin with cricket. India beat England by 13 runs to clinch the three-match Women's ODI series 2-1. India chose to bat after winning the toss. Harmanpreet Kaur-led squad put 318 runs on the scoreboard, powered by captain's own 102-run knock. Chasing the 319-run target, the hosts were bowled out at 305 runs, with India's Kranti Gaur claiming 6 wickets. Captain Harmanpreet Kaur was named both player of the match as well as the player of this series. Bangladesh pulled off a narrow 8-run victory in the second T20 match against Pakistan, winning the series with one match to go. Pakistan won the toss and took to field first. Powered by Jaqar Ali's 55-run knock, Bangladesh put 133 runs on the scoreboard. In response, the visitors were bowled out at just 125 runs. New Zealand beat South Africa by 7 wickets in Zimbabwe in the 5th match of T20 Tri-Series. New Zealand took to field first in Harare and restricted South Africa at 134 runs. New Zealand chased down the 135-run total with 25 balls remaining. Tim Seifer was named player of the match for his 66-run not-out knock. And ahead of the 4th Indian versus England series in Manchester, Indian captain Shubman Gill accuses hosts of ignoring the spirit of the game. This comes after England's time-wasting tactics in third test at Lord's sparked an angry flare-up between the teams. The global cricket body ICC have cut 2 points from England's World Test Championship tally for the slow over rate in Lord's Test. In football, England entered the Women's Euro 2025 final. Chloe Kelly scored a dramatic late winner in extra time as the defending champions came from behind to beat Italy 2-1 in the semi-finals. The European champions now head to Basel for Sunday's final. Crystal Palace have appealed to the Court of Sports Arbitration against their demotion from the Europa League to the Conference League. The London club, who won last season's FA Cup, fell foul of European football body UEFA rules that governs multi-club ownership. UEFA maintains that in violation of its rules, American businessman John Textor has control or influence in Crystal Palace as well as the French club Lyon. In tennis, 45-year-old Venus Williams became the second oldest woman to win a tour-level singles match. The 7-time Grand Slam winner beat compatriot Peyton Stearns 6-3, 6-4 at DC Open. This is the same scoreline Williams achieved as her first ever tour-level singles victory when she was just 14 years old. In badminton, after a spree of first-round exits this year, star Indian shuttler PV Sindhu began her China Open campaign with a win. The two-time Olympic medalist beat Japan's Tomoka Miyazaki 21-15, 8-21, 21-17. Sindhu's best performance this year has been in January when she reached the quarters of India Open. Qatar announced its bid to host the 2036 Olympic and Paralympic Games in Doha. Should it be chosen, Qatar would become the first country in West Asia to host the Olympic Games. One of the smallest and the wealthiest states in the Gulf, Qatar had already hosted the 2022 FIFA World Cup. The US Olympic governing body notifies the ban on American transgender women from competing in women's events at Olympics and Paralympics. The change was announced with an update on the US Olympic governing body's website, along with letters sent to sports governing bodies. The policy update follows the President Donald Trump's executive order signed in February to, quote, keeping men out of women's sports, end quote. And finally, in entertainment news, House Republicans have voted to rename the Kennedy Center Opera House. The proposed new name honors US First Lady Melania Trump. The change was introduced as part of an Interior Department funding bill. The amendment passed with a 33-25 vote in committee. Critics argue the move politicizes a major cultural institution. Production has begun on season 2 of Netflix's zombie thriller All of Us Are Dead. Actors Kim Se-eun and Ro Jae-won have joined the cast. The series continues the story of Nam On-joon, now on a college student in Seoul. A new wave of infection plunges the city back into chaos. The first season was a global hit, viewed over 560 million hours worldwide. Johnny Depp and Ridley Scott are set to adapt a new graphic novel, Hyde. The work is inspired by Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde by Robert Louis Stevenson. The story follows Mr. Hyde living in London's sewers after overtaking Dr. Jekyll. The novel will debut this Halloween before being adapted into a film. Depp, Scott and Mechanical Cake will co-own the property. Shakira and The Weeknd will lead the 2025 Global Citizen Festival in New York. The event will be held in Central Park on September 27. Hugh Jackman will host the concert with performances by Tyler, Ira Starr and more. The campaign aims to improve energy access in Africa and education worldwide. It also seeks to raise $200 million to protect the Amazon and boost volunteerism in New York. And British rock icon Ozzy Osbourne has died at the age of 76. The Black Sabbath frontman passed away after a long battle with Parkinson's disease. His family confirmed he died surrounded by loved ones. Osbourne had performed recently at Black Sabbath's farewell concert in Birmingham. In 2020, he revealed his Parkinson's diagnosis and later retired from touring in 2023 due to spinal injuries. That's all for today. Thank you for joining us. I am Gushin Galan and we'll see you right back here tomorrow. Until then, stay informed and stay tuned to Firstpost.